Hello, and welcome to the third episode of UOB Sports Report. I'm your host, Jack Proctor, and today we're going to have a little twist on the usual Sports Report format. We usually report only books. This episode's going to be centred around social sports. Coming up on the programme. We had a chat with Christy and Chloe from Social Netball to find out how impactful and inclusive the sport actually is. And we caught up with Match of the Day's third-year student, Fergus Evans, to find out how social football has influenced his life at the University of Birmingham. Now, although this is a social sports special, we couldn't help but resist giving you the scores on the doors from the BUCS games.
For hockey, men's 4 won the Conference Cup, followed by the stellar performance in each tier. For the ICG, Birmingham's women's team smashed the competition. In netball, it was a tight game, but ultimately, Loughborough won the championship. However, in squash, Birmingham swept the competition, winning all championships by a considerable margin. In tennis, the men's team brings home the Conference Cup. In touch rugby, the Lions came 6th overall. For trampolining, the women's team bounced their way to 2nd place. Finally, our triathlon competitors, the women came 2nd again, whereas the men's team came 7th.
Well, it's an absolutely beautiful day here at the University of Birmingham, so in typical Guild TV fashion, we thought there'd be no better time to do an outdoor interview with Social Netball. I'm here with Chloe and President Christy from the club. In terms of Social Netball as a collective, it's quite a big society. How do you kind of maintain inclusivity within such a large group of people?
Well, we have 12 different teams, and within each team we have 30 to 40 people, so it's quite a lot. But you get to know everyone in your team. As well as that, we have socials, so sports night, we have sober socials, people get to know each other, and our prees. So I feel like that's quite inclusive.
Yeah, and we have like different levels of playing, like we have super competitive and like just beginners, so anyone can really join if they want at any level, so I think that's how we are, quite inclusive.
Yeah, so in terms of like as a social sport and a social kind of team, what does that kind of mean to you in your own words, in your own experience of going from Social Netball? I'm assuming you all joined as freshers.
I joined in 2nd year.
You're in 2nd year, but from an early stage at university, it's kind of the stage you are now.
Yeah.
How has kind of joining Social Netball influenced your university experience?
Oh, well, it's majorly influenced mine because this year I'm now on committee, so it's kind of changed this year for me. In 2nd year I met some of my best friends. But yeah, I just joined it because I was like, oh, it's something to do, and yeah, here I am now.
Yeah, I think it's just made it like more like of a well-rounded experience. Like, it's just something really fun to do, really casual, and it's like a lot of fun to do just on a Saturday and with your friends. So yeah.
Yeah, well, kind of the social aspect of netball, I'm sure, is a big thing, and that's always important. But there's always kind of this common myth around social sports, which I'm kind of trying to debunk, which is about the standard of social sports. Now, obviously, some people are going to join social sports to stay fit. Some of them are going to join it because they want to achieve kind of a high standard of play. So in terms of netball, how is that kind of seen, and how are the standards kind of suitable for anyone who wants to join?
Well, firstly, we let anyone in the club. So we don't have trials. We have taster sessions so people can try that out first. And then we have 3 different days you can play on, so Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. And Thursday is more competitive, and Saturday's least competitive, and Sunday's a bit more in the middle. So when people join and they buy their memberships, they can tell us to what level they play at, and we'll put them into whichever days they can play, whatever level they can play. And then, yeah.
Yeah, you can also just choose like the position you want to play in, like goal attack, wing attack, so it can be like really enjoyable for you and what you actually want to do.
It's always nice to see that Social Netball at the University of Birmingham are providing an inclusive environment up to a high standard. Girls, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. Thank you, we appreciate it. As someone who spent their entire time playing university social sport, in your case playing for Match of the Day, which is a social football team, how much did that kind of elevate your university experience?
So when I joined in freshers, everyone's in the same boat. sort of want us, well, for me especially, I wanted to play football, but I tried for BUCS, didn't get in, in my case, I was lucky with my flat where I got on pretty well with them. I'm living with a few of them now, but a lot of the lads that sort of play and have played sort of second and third years now, they didn't really have so much of an outlet, and so I felt like Match of the Day was a good way to meet like-minded people, and obviously common interest in football, which is always good way of keeping fit, having a good laugh. Overall I think it's probably up there, one of the best things I've done since kind of uni.
I really like the fact that you kind of mentioned BUCS there, because kind of a common myth amongst social sport is that the standard isn't the quality of kind of like what people want to achieve with BUCS, and we were just kind of wondering, is that kind of myth, is it an actual myth, or is there some element of truth to that?
So to be fair, I think Match of the Day is a good sort of balance between them both. I think there is a bit of a myth that sort of social sport isn't competitive, because so for me, obviously the BUCS trials are sort of, it feels a bit weird because everyone wants to play football. Like a lot of boys and girls want to play football when they go to uni, and then obviously such a big club, it's hard to filter out the players. And so there's still, like, looking back to when I did trials, there's a lot of good sort of lads that didn't get in the BUCS team but still played a high quality. And like I say, sort of Match of the Day, the social aspect is good, but so we sort of have a sort of mindset, maybe half an hour before kick-off, we sort of focus in and think, right lads, we need to focus, and this is it, like, it's a game day, the next sort of couple of hours we just focus on our game. And for me, I've sort of got philosophy, sort of the final whistle goes, and then you're sort of like back being mates again. And I think that's always a good, and that's the same for sort of Saturday where we play in a local Birmingham league, and Sunday in the campus league. And it's a good sort of balance, because it means that you are still playing competitively, but then it's not sort of overbearing. We train once a week, and it means that we, like, after the game, you can sort of have a good laugh, and they're all your mates at the end of the day, as opposed to sort of a group of lads that sort of club together.
So it seems like there's a big focus in the team, and it's certainly something I've experienced as well, where there's kind of like a lot of friends and like camaraderie and stuff. So in terms of like mentally, that must be a good coping mechanism, as a good outlet of kind of the stresses of uni life. Is there any word you've got on that?
Yeah, definitely. So in terms of obviously being third year now, I've got sort of this looming, and I've got loads of sort of deadlines due. I've been working hard, and sort of my social life takes a bit of a hit, so because you've got to obviously focus on your degree slightly more, and that this sort of progresses throughout uni. But obviously having Match of the Day at the social football is good. It's a good outlet. So every Saturday you sort of meet up with your mates, and for that sort of like afternoon, you can take your mind off the studying, and same as sort of Wednesday afternoon, sports night's a good night out. Sort of the social sec, he organises some good sort of socials with the team, and I think because of that, it takes away where obviously university is a very sort of like taxing course. Like the studying can be quite intense at times, and I think obviously having this outlet, the social sort of aspect to it is good mentally as well.
So with this being your final year playing for Match of the Day, in terms of for people who are maybe coming up and looking for a social team, in terms of Match of the Day specifically, what has that kind of meant to you over the last 3 years? So it's sort of, to be fair, I'd sort of go as far as to say is Match of the Day, like for me, is probably up there with, if not the best decision I made coming to uni, in terms of what it's given me over the past 3 years. I've had sort of played football throughout competitively, also sort of met loads of people. I've got sort of lifelong mates, a couple of lads I'm living with now, Judge Bake, so I met them through Match of the Day, it's sort of the connection that's sort of given me, it's given me a sort of wider sort of circle of mates, and plus it's given me an outlet of, obviously university is a bit of a tough thing to sort of go into. Obviously a lot of lads and that this is the first time sort of living away from home, and I think in terms of Match of the Day, it gave me sort of like a community sort of feel, which is always good, because it's good to have a sort of that circle of group mates and that you can rely on, and overall I think in terms of like socially, competitively, in terms of making mates, and as a sort of club, I think it's up there with one of the best things I've done since coming to uni. Well, there we have it. That's Fergus Evans, a man that has become my friend through playing for Match of the Day as well, but also a man who has clearly had a positive impact from social sport at university. Thank you, Ferg.
Cheers.
Well, that brings us to the end of our programme. I'm now going to go enjoy this beautiful day. We hope you enjoyed watching. I've been Jack Proctor. This has been Sports Report. Have a good day.